Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the Slightly Above Average Ship Review. Got a match for you today, our first match in the German Legendary Tier battleship. I'm going to call it Schlieffen. I look carefully at the letters. I've heard other people call it Schlieffen, but it's Schlieffen. So I'm pretty confident that it's Schlieffen. Anyway, there's a look at the ship. This is our first match. That being said, I do issue a caveat when we look at the stats on the port. Those are going to be the stats from today. So I've played it about 13 matches in total, but this is match number 1. We're on Scandinavia. We are top tier, of course. It is a domination match. And there's an enemy Schlieffen on the other team. All right, so you can see you get damage con, repair party, enhanced secondary targeting, and sonar. It is rather long range sonar, and so that is a good thing. 2 rifle turrets. I believe they're 420 millimeters. The title card is a drawing I found of this ship, allegedly. Main battery 16.6, secondary battery 13, torpedoes 8, sonar 5.7. And so we are moving out. So there are a lot of ways to do damage in this ship. Lately in the matches today, I found myself getting focus fired, but I don't think that's because this strikes fear into the hearts of anyone. I just think I was playing in some really bad teams, and I would look around and everybody on my side of the map was dead, and I was the only one left alive. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I was watching Manager Extreme the other day. He said he thinks Colombo is the easiest or the most powerful ship at Legendary Tier. I would agree with that. You've got to get into the main battery range, into the pocket, so to speak. So I would kind of treat this ship kind of like a Russian battleship. You got to get inside your secondary range for it to mean much. And so a map with a lot more cover, I think, is better for the ship than a wide open map. Because in a wide open map, yeah, I think you will get fired at by a lot of people. All right, still looking for trouble here. By the way, torpedo armament, 4 quad launchers. That is pretty fancy. And are we ever going to see an enemy? Maybe I need to go talk about something else for a while. All right, there's the enemy Schlieffen. We are going to start engaging him. We're on the boundary of the map here. There is, in my opinion, a destroyer hiding in Delta. We set the enemy Schlieffen on fire. A cruiser, probably a Minotaur, is shooting at me, so we're going to turn and go bow in to the cruiser. And as you can see, torpedo launchers. Front launcher has an exclusion window or an exclusion angle, so you got to move a little more to get the second launcher on target. I would never mount the torpedo mod. The torpedo launchers get knocked out if a stiff breeze kicks up, so I think in this match, 2 of my launchers get knocked out right in the beginning. So just keep that in mind. Dodging torpedoes. Still shooting at the enemy ship. This is a GK, not a Schlieffen. I think I failed to mention that. We're on fire again. Still getting shot at, but I think it's a Minotaur. And so we're dipsy-doodling all over the place here. Because if he turned to avoid my torpedoes, then I want to use my other launcher, and you can see it gets knocked out too. So there will be no torpedoes being used at the GK here today. And we're getting it back online right now. We're going to wait to get past torpedoes out on the GK, which doesn't have torpedoes back. Take him down to the very nub. 1 salvo. Dev strike, kill number 1 here in the Schlieffen. All right, real quickly, I think I have time to go to WoW's builds. Damage record 338,628. Base XP record 4156. I shall not approach any of that today. Destroyer, going after him there with our secondaries. The evil and hated Shimikaze. And this ship is nimble enough to dodge. Now, I'm not saying he aimed his torpedoes particularly well at all. I think he aimed them terribly, but we were able to dodge no problem. In the matches I've played since this, I'm pretty able to dodge torpedoes, so I'm pretty happy with the maneuverability of this ship for being so large. We're going to work in here on a base cap. There it is. Still targeting the destroyer with secondaries, but right now I'm concerned about Minotaur, who I believe is right over here behind the island. And as you can see, I have it in full reverse in case he was torping at me. There goes our salvo, and it does absolutely nothing all over pens. We're going to torp out. Meanwhile, he has no problem penning me. We do dodge the torps, bit of prescient navigation there. And continuing to take incoming salvos, which aren't doing a lot of damage, but incrementally they are starting to add up. All right, shooting 3 turrets at the Minotaur. We are doing damage. I am trying to turn my stern away and increase the angle and hopefully mitigate some of this shell damage. And as you can see, I think we got it at the right angle. They're almost doing no damage now because he's not shooting up into the superstructure. He should be shooting HE, in my opinion. But he's not having a lot of luck. We are shooting again and doing some more damage incrementally. More torpedoes coming in to where we would have been. And I think we're going to inadvertently dodge all these. I think we set someone on fire, probably the destroyer. And continuing to take damage. And the Minotaur stops. I'm not sure why. The destroyer is not up right now. And we don't have a lot of health left. 7,000 hit points. Yeah, that's not good. So we took a ton of damage there, pushing in. But I think it was necessary. We appear to be the only ship left over on this side of the map. Maybe one other ship behind me? Yeah. All right, so we're not alone, but I don't know where anybody else went. So our torp launchers are in the process of reloading. Here is a destroyer, and I want to say there's a battleship behind him. But I didn't really notice them helping me out very much. I wanted to go around that island to see if I could break spot and reestablish spot. So that gives me an idea of where the destroyer is. So we'll immediately hit our sonar. We do have torpedoes coming into the island, it looks like. So we do dodge those. And I think Minotaur is out of the smoke screen and just not visible. Not firing at this time. All right, blue team has got all the base caps. We've got all but one, pardon me, we've got a points lead. The internet is conspiring against me. See, look at the gaps between these torpedoes. This is why only newbies wide launch. You should almost never wide launch unless it's in concert with a spread of narrow launch in order to quote-unquote cover all your bases or fill the gaps. I would never wide launch by itself like he did right there. I just think it's not effective at all. All right. Oh, I guess the Minotaur's dead. Well, it's just the Shima over here then. By the way, we have 148,000 damage here in the Schlieffen. Let's go really quickly to wiki.wargaming.net, which says HE shell velocity, AP shell velocity, 835 meters per second. HE and AP shell weight is identical at 1050 kilos. Max dispersion is 214 meters for this ship. H-class battleship, or a variant of the H-class battleship. There's a assisted base cap, but never really got off the paper. So I found a schematic that looked the most like the ship I could find, and that's what we went with. See, there's that maneuverability again, dodging those torpedoes. Enemy Zhao, which I know is quite favorited by a lot of people right now. Oh, we got to turn back in. Can we dodge again? I don't know. I don't think we can dodge this one. Yeah, we can't dodge it. All right, well, that's terrible. Terrible. Real quick, let me go back to Wow's builds and see if I can get this peer comparison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ships at legendary tier. Hit points, Vermont is number 1. And Schlieffen's toward the bottom. Main battery reload. The longest reload is Vermont. Schlieffen is third at 32 seconds. AP damage. Well, I don't want AP damage. How about AP DPM? All right, let me get some real stats here. That's secondary battery range, max speed. How about that? All right. AP DPM number 1, Montana 314 400. Schlieffen 194 250. Yikes at the bottom. Secondary battery range, Schlieffen number 1 at 8 base value. Yamato, Vermont, Montana, Conqueror, all tied at 5. Max speed, Schlieffen number 1, 34.1 knots. Last is the Yamato. All right, here we are on the victory screen. Dev strike, 148,988 total damage. 4 torpedo strikes, 1 kill. Couple assisted base caps. We ended up with just over 270,000 silver, over 5,200 ship XP, over 5,500 commander XP in the Schlieffen. And we finished number 2 on the team, 2297 or something, 1 medal. Eesh. Let's go into the port, take a look at the ship in terms of the upgrades. We went with secondary battery mod 2, damage control system mod 2, concealment system mod 1, and main battery mod 3. In terms of the loadout, you've got 5 charges of the damage control party. Remember, this is a battlecruiser. 3 charges of the repair party, 3 charges of the enhanced secondary targeting, and 2 charges of that relatively long distance-wise sonar. Rare battle booster for movement speed and cooldown time. Standard permanent camouflage, and the legendary birthday 21 flag. 76,100 hit points and a 25% torpedo damage reduction with our build. Taking a look, we got 4 twin 420 millimeter turrets, 16.6 kilometer firing range, 28.8 second reload, 35.3 second turn time. HE shells, an unimpressive 4,600 max damage with a 27% fire chance. AP shells, 13,000, looks like 598 max damage. 2 sets of secondaries, the range of both with this build is 13 kilometers. First set of 12 by 2 105s, reloads every 3.7 seconds. 1260 max HE shell damage, 7.5% fire chance. 8 by 2 150s, reload every 8.7 seconds. Max damage 1785 HE shell damage with a 10.5% fire chance. I think armor piercing is the way to go with this ship. 2 quad launchers, 533 millimeters, reload every 160 seconds. Max damage 16,533. 8 kilometer range at 54 knots. The detectability is 1,200 meters. AA defense, this number looks good. Not really that long ranging, only out to 4.7 kilometers for your dual purpose secondaries, which also do the best DPS at 220 damage per second. But I think you can definitely defend yourself with that AA. Haven't really faced a carrier with this thing, so to speak. Maneuverability, this is a strong point, 35.1 knots. That is fast. 970 meter turning circle, 16.1 second rudder shift time. And concealment, 13.6 on the surface, 11.4 from the air, 15.7 when firing from a smokescreen. All right, remember these stats are after I played it, after the match you just saw. So we've got 13 matches. We have a winning percentage of 56%. Main battery accuracy, I would say that's okay, 41%. Torpedo accuracy, 11%. Kill death ratio of 0.8. And the game you saw, our first game pretty much has been, had one game with a little bit better max XP, but in terms of damage, that's been my best game so far. Due to, I would say, bad teammates. All right, it's easy to blame teammates, right? Armor viewer, I'm not very impressed with the armor. Above water citadel, just slightly. We will put this bow back on. Got a kaleidoscope of colors here. But the big thing to know is you got 27 millimeter deck, 27 millimeter bow. As you can see there, a really weird 60 to 100 armor belt, which probably won't do anything except maybe the 100, 105, 113, 14 caliber guns. Maybe that might stand up to that a little bit more. Torpedo belts below the waterline. Turrets and barbettes are not well armored. I mean, comparatively, they're better armored than the rest of the ship, except down into the casemate, but German turret armor has never impressed me, and this doesn't look impressive in any way compared to like a U.S. ship. Casemate, you can see a robust armor belt of 350 millimeters. But again, there are ships with purple armor at this tier, so none of this is impressive. But again, it is a battle cruiser. So here's our commander, Otto Ciliax. I'm surprised we didn't get a battle cruiser commander specifically for Germany like England did. Just saying. But here's the build I ran. Everything to the right. No fly zone. Highly educated crew. Advanced schemes. Those other two are quasi-unique, I believe, to this commander. Properly meticulous in row 4. And fight fire with fire. That is the Schlieffen, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, you'll be along to correct my pronunciation. Like, comment, subscribe below. I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.